Hello!
Hello!
I'm really excited because this is the first episode of Soulpunk TV interviews, and I'm so happy to have my friend Nikola for this very first episode interview on the topic of money and spirituality. Is gonna be wild, guys. Stay tuned. No, it's interesting, and I know already. That's something I wanted to tell you. I know already it's gonna be the only one interview I'm gonna do with you, because as you will unfold the work you're doing, I will invite you again on the channel for sure.
Oh, it's not an only. Okay.
Yeah. We'll have a lot of collaborations together.
Yes.
Either in an interview or in the other stuff we do. So,
yeah, I know that too. Yeah.
if I may, how would you introduce yourself to someone that never heard of you?
Never heard of me. Well, as you said earlier, very good point. I incarnated, right, as a human. That was a very good starting point. No, it's true. We never think about
We
that.
all can relate.
Exactly. Maybe we can all relate. Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's a good starting point because I never really fully integrated as a human, and I think most of us can also relate to that. And I feel that in the last 4 years, I have learned to integrate more as a human and to actually embody the human world, which actually has a lot to do with money.
Nice.
Doesn't it?
Nice.
Because we realize, well, I'll just speak for myself, I don't want to generalize, but there's a lot of avoidance of the material world when you're not fully present. And people used to say to me, you need to ground more, you're not very grounded, but until I understood what that means, until I felt it, I couldn't understand the material world. And so I was operating from a place of, I must accomplish these tasks. I need to go to work. I need to pay bills. I need to do I need to eat. Even with food, I had problems.
Oh, yeah.
Why do we have to eat? It's so cumbersome. It's such an annoyance, right? And with money, I think it's the same thing. With any body, things with disease, with how the body behaves. In my journey, it's been a bit of avoidance in that area of like, oh, do I really have to deal with this?
I prepare a bunch
Right?
of questions about these topics that a lot of people will relate to, I guess.
think so, yeah. I think so.
So in terms of your story, I mean, where have you been living most of your life?
Oh, my human story took me around the world just a little bit. I was born in Bulgaria. When I was a child, I went to Morocco.
Oh, yeah.
So in Casablanca, I grew up as a teenager. It was lovely. It was beautiful. The Moroccan culture actually really taught me love. Yeah, I find that the Moroccan, I can't speak for all Muslim cultures because I haven't been, but the Moroccan culture was really brotherly.
Oh, wow, nice.
I never witnessed anything like that before or since, where the social environment is love in action.
Excellent.
I really love them. So I'm very grateful that as a young child I got to feel adults showing love to each other, to strangers, and to everybody.
Yeah, that's not
Very
common.
beautiful.
That's not common. Yeah.
Men walk down the street holding hands, and they hug, and they kiss, and they say "Thank you, brother," and so that's at least what I took away from it, and it was very beautiful. For the rest of my life, it carried me to this day. So that was Morocco, and then when I was 16, I went to America by myself. I did an exchange program like you see in the movies. You know, the foreign kid in an American suburb. All the jokes are very true, you know.
Where have you lived in the USA?
I went first to Houston, Texas.
All right.
Yeah, that was very weird and scary, very strange, because Houston, Texas is just like a whole different planet, actually. And then I went for 1 year in West Virginia, and then I went to college in Philadelphia. And then I stayed there, having a relationship and really just believing that, I mean, at this point I was American, I was integrated, and I didn't feel planted. I felt like a flower that was
moving away
in the wrong soil. Like if you take a cactus and you try to bring it to Canada and try to plant it, it's probably not going to do very well. And vice versa. So that's kind of how I felt, even though America really is a wonderful place that I really integrated with and I carry with me.
Mm.
So now I'm this very bizarre American,
Moroccan,
European, Arabic,
Eastern European.
like just Frankenstein of a creature. But what that taught me, and then I came back to Bulgaria and reconnected with my roots here. Met my now ex-husband who took us to Canada.
Oh wow, okay.
So 6 years in the freezing cold in Montreal, and then Mexico.
Oh wow, okay. So you've been a bit
A
everywhere.
bit. You know what's interesting? People pointed out to me. I didn't realize this, but I was Montreal, Philadelphia, even Texas, and Mexico, where I was, and around Playa del Carmen, Belize, and Colombia. All of that, if you look at the world, is a tiny, tiny slice of the world, except for Europe and Morocco, of course.
Yeah.
But really, most of where I've spent my life as a human so far is in this corridor.
That's cool.
On the map,
I
which
see.
is very interesting. When you think, isn't it? You think you're moving around so much, but when you actually look at it, you're just in a sliver of
there's a guidance.
geographic, magnetic.
Oh yeah, ley lines. Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Oh, interesting.
I know.
Nice.
So I just someone told me that like a year ago, and I was like, oh my god, I thought I had moved around so much, but really I didn't.
You've been following
around.
the current.
I haven't moved around that much. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's very strange as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and then in terms of my spiritual journey, it started with a near-death experience where I had a seizure in 2016 in August.
How old were you?
In August of 2016, about 40, I think. And yeah. And
so before that, you didn't consider yourself to be spiritual?
No, I did not.
Oh,
Absolutely
wow.
did not. I was never normal, whatever that means. There is no normal actually. But and I knew about the law of attraction and I practiced it, and so I had these more like practical ways of trying to manifest things in my life, which I think a lot of people use. I could see that a lot of it was working for me, like really quick. I'd wish for something and it would just show up, and I created a whole business in Montreal strictly using the law of attraction. Like I would just say, like I
That's
need
the dream of a lot of magicians.
I
and,
did
spiritual people. You know?
Yeah. It's really interesting what spiritual actually means.
No, I know.
broad-
Yeah, I have a problem as well with
Me
this
too.
word. Yes.
But I can definitely say that I was always more of a spirit than a body. For me, that's a true statement. And to understand what it means to be human, I actually had to go through a lot of emotional pain to where I almost exited the human plane completely because I just couldn't understand what the heck is going on within the pain. Up until August of 2016, I was primarily a really, really happy person. Never really had big issues in my life, and I realized once I was in my dark night of the soul, which started around 2018, full on 2019, winter of 2019, completely death trap, in which a lot of different teachers helped me, Matt Kahn included, but that was really the darkest. And I realized, of course, at that point that so many humans go through that. Some when they're teenagers. Some when I've never had a hard teenagerhood.
Right.
Never had hard 20s. Never, nothing, you know. I had challenges in life, but I overcame them with a complete faith, trust, and, you know, and so I was always in my higher self, is what I realized. I always lived in my higher self.
But
and
then,
I had access to all of that vastness of the universe of trust and faith and confidence.
But even before you consider yourself to be
Oh yeah, but I didn't know that. Yeah,
Right,
I'm
okay.
understanding this during my dark night of the soul.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That I was always much more spirit and never really, because when I would be forced by whatever circumstances to sink into the humanity of life, it was horrible. It was so horrible, and I couldn't understand most of my life while people will say life is hard. I was like, what? Life is wonderful. But that was because I wasn't fully embodied.
Nice.
And so, anyway, I went through that. There's obviously a lot to talk about that. That's a lot of other information, but my channeling right away opened up. My 2016, after the near death, when I came back, I came back by my own will. Like I had a heartbreak, basically, and the electrical. This is how I explain it to myself after reading a lot of books.
Perfect.
About it, because it just happened. I fell on the floor. I saw myself from the ceiling down, and I realized, am I actually dying? This is bullshit. I'm not okay with this. I was pissed. I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean? I just fell down and now I'm gone? We spend our childhood trying to learn how to be adults. We go to school. We try hard to get grades or to integrate at a job. Yeah. We stress so much about stupid things like bills and does this person like me, or did I offend somebody, or did I whatever. In my case, it was all about fitting in a culture a lot of times. It's like I was always weird because I'm coming from a certain habit of Eastern Europe. In Morocco, they never made me feel weird. Thank God. Never. It was wonderful. But in America, oh my God. Everywhere you go, you feel weird. And now I'm an Eastern European that went through Africa and is in America. It was just and so struggling with that nonsense, all of a sudden, you're floating out of your body. Yeah. And you're like, wait a minute, what was all the struggle for? If I'm just
what's the point if I'm gonna die?
What's the point if I'm just gonna die in 3 seconds? Less than 3 seconds. It takes half a second. So I got really angry. I was like, this is not, I'm not okay. And at that point, it was the first time that I heard what I think has been said as the voice of God. And it's just this booming, male sounding. Indeed, it's, at least in my head, it sounded quite male. But it was just focusing you. It was like, focus. And it said to me, it was probably my first conscious vision. And it said, inside of your heart, you have this little spark, they said, which I later read about. It's true, apparently. So this is the spark of your soul. Apparently, is actually inside of one of the molecules, one of the cells in your body. Did you know this? Have you heard about this?
Is that like the God's particle?
I think so. But I didn't know about this at the time. And so they tell me it has the power of, hundreds of nuclear bombs, however many, like it's just enormous power. Keep in mind, I know nothing about universes, multiverses,
you haven't read anything before
nothing. I watched The Secret,
and that's it.
15 years before that, and I had a psychologist woman that I would go to, and she would kind of talk about energy a little bit. I didn't really know what she meant, but she said, if you positively charge your mind, it helps your life, whatever. That's as much as I had understood, and I was just practicing that. But anyway, so this happens, and I was just like, okay, I'll use it. I'll use this spark because I'm floating, right? I'm leaving. And you realize at this point what paraplegics must feel like. Paraplegics are like people who can't move their whole body, right? But they're conscious.
Yeah, because you got like a sleep paralysis experience, kind of being out of your body, dephased.
Full on, and at that time I had never done traveling outside of my body.
Never heard of that?
No,
maybe
never
you did.
Heard.
No, okay.
Hadn't,
the sleep paralysis, the first time it happens to you, it's terrifying.
Exactly. Yeah. I had heard of lucid dreaming. Yeah. But I didn't look into it. I didn't know what it was. I just heard of it, and so I was thinking all these things. A lot of things I was thinking within a microsecond. But when I realized that I need to make a decision and I need to do something because no one can help me. Oh, yeah. I can't speak, I can't yell, there's no one in the house, I'm alone. And this is it. I'm either dying right now or I'm doing something about it. So it's not like you have much to lose, right? You're just like, well, I'm going to try it, or what else? And so I think at the time I just said to my heart, because I heard my heart stop. And that was the most deafening silence that you cannot imagine that silence. It's utter silence of the cosmos, I think. Yeah. It was just, and so anyway, so I said, beat, motherfucker, beat. I was so angry. I was cursing on myself. I was just like, you must be fucking kidding me. This is like, not happening.
Tough love.
Oh yeah, oh no, I was angry. Because I used to actually, as a child and a teenager, I used to have anger issues that I used to go and do a lot of classes about anger management because I would go into these explosive bursts.
Oh, you feel like a fiery person for
yeah, I'm all fire.
Still,
yeah. Oh, this is calm. This is
but still, like I feel it.
This is nothing. But yeah, so I said, you know what? This is the moment when you're supposed to use your fire. Let's go now. Now this is it. So I unleashed all the rage and anger and disagreement really that I was having with what was going on, and it actually worked.
Oh wow.
So what I ended up doing on purpose, intentionally, was use all of the power that I could muster up in that one moment, exploded to electrocute myself back into. So basically, like electrocuted myself with thought.
Oh, nice.
With consciousness.
I got it.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And then it was painful. The body, the level of pain I felt, I never felt pain like that in my life. It was so painful when the soul re-entered the molecules. Most painful thing, because you expanded and now you're trying to
and you shrink
fit
back and
pain.
Yeah, and you shrink back with a higher state of vibration because you've been shifted to the other side a little bit. So I got it. Yeah, it's an initiation. It's a common initiation in shamanism.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I got initiated big time.
yeah. That was actually a common initiation in the sacred cults in the past to trigger near-death experience in order to create immortals. Yeah, that was the hybrid of the immortal, the one who has been awakened again, rebirth.
It really makes sense because I'll tell you that's what my spiritual awakening was triggered like that moment, because yes, you now come back quite fully conscious.
Gandalf the White.
Not quite, because you don't necessarily bring all the skills in that moment.
No, yeah.
Not all the knowledge
but it's
is back.
open.
But yeah, you cannot be the same ever.
Yeah.
No freaking way. No way. Now you're not human anymore.
I think a lot of people can relate because a lot of people who are into those kind of fields, they had those kind of experience or they're looking for it.
Oh, they're looking for it, yeah.
I mean, all of my meditative practice is the practice of dying a little bit, kind of in control.
Oh yes, after that, what I've gone through has been a lot of rebirths, a lot of deaths in different ways, for sure. And even whether it's through travel, through meditation, through the ayahuasca that I was lucky enough finally for the medicine to invite me one time, and a lot of different deaths, yeah. And then conscious deaths, like intentional deaths.
Okay, so there's something you haven't said actually. It's like you're a medium. No, it's
this all got triggered at that point.
Because you said that was my first vision.
Yeah.
And the thing is that nowadays you have a direct connection to source, intuition.
Yeah.
So how is your experience having vision? Can you give me a glimpse of that, because I don't consider myself to be a medium.
Okay.
I don't have visions, for example, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't as well, and they would be interested to know how does that experience feels like.
Yeah. Well, it was genetic, and it was nice that it got activated.
Genetic.
It is genetic because my grandmother on my father's side was doing that fully openly. She was like the woman in the village where people would come and ask her stuff. And when I was very little, she'd had the Ouija board. And I saw the little cup move, and there's all kinds of little different techniques, right? And I thought that was normal. I thought everybody's grandmother does that. I never thought that was weird. And she always talked to me about mirrors and talking to the mirror and other worlds and things like that. So that's why, to me, I was always strange, but I didn't formulate what that is. What is that? What is that? What is that? And then once I started reading, it was able to put more labels to what was going on. And then, of course, having these experiences in the beginning can be very strange because you can't really explain it to someone because you don't even know the words yet.
Yeah.
How do I say? How do I Google this even?
Yeah.
What is it called? Like when I got up from the floor, after the pain came ecstatic orgasmic waves that lasted about a half an hour. And I'm talking every molecule of your body is having what I ended up calling a cosmic orgasm, because it has nothing to do with a physical sexual orgasm. Wow, I mean bliss by you can't handle it. It's that much because it's the universe entering you. What the heck, and so you're just going waves of colors, sounds. I heard the angels singing at that point. And
that reminds me actually of the mushrooms experience I posted on my channel. It's like I hear the angels around and I was shaking of orgasm through energy and love, and I was like, I want everybody to be able to feel that at least once. Yes. And that's my mission now.
Okay. Yeah. It's amazing. So you start living so much outside of the physical little body that is scared and worried and constantly being told that it's wrong about something. You're constantly being told you're wrong in some way. If you're just living inside your human experience, it can be quite tough. Yeah. So what was your question? The visions. Well, so things come and I just know things.
Okay.
And so I know that's what my grandmother used to say. I would ask her, I said, how do you answer these people? Where'd you get that information, which has been proven time and time again to be accurate?
Nice.
So it was no doubt that what she was saying was true. No one doubted it because she was 70 or whatever, and how long she's been doing it, people knew. And I realized for myself the same thing was happening, and I started trusting myself, and from there I started trusting the universe, and from there I really started on the quite typical spiritual journey that I find a lot of other people go through certain stages of acquiring a bit of knowledge, getting the brain accustomed to opening up to these ideas, which in my case was super easy. As soon as I would read something, I was like, of course.
Immersion.
Duh, I knew that. But to be authorized in a way to say that that's okay, that is a reality.
Okay.
And so I went through a phase. Immediately the urge was to teach other people and to help other people, like you said. Immediately, as soon as we, usually I guess the light workers and this phase of humanity, as soon as we experience a level of awakening, immediately we want to share it.
Oh, sure.
Immediately. Yeah. Everybody, I think, goes through that. And so, of course, I started getting all sorts of lessons and courses online and certificates and past life regression, hypnotherapy, a lot. The canon, the woman's work was one of the first, I think, things that I really studied deeply. And I started practicing, and I do help people now. I do regressions. I do whenever people ask me. At first, I made it into a big thing, like I wanted to take my life in that direction 100%. And so I did. That's why I went to Latin America. Started experiencing a little bit more of like local shamanism, temazcals, and
right. So would you consider yourself to be a healer nowadays? Would that be a label, that kind of work?
I've wondered about that. Healer, I don't lay hands. I only intuitively bring people to their own higher self.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, only that. That is really, the other things, the other modalities are not where my energy flows.
That excites me. That excites me a lot, to try to channel that vibration through a video. For example. That's amazing. And oh, you're doing it now. All right.
One thing that I was told early on that was very true is when you get attracted to somebody's energy, watching them on YouTube or watching a lecture, finding a teacher, always it means that is what you're supposed to, that you have that in you.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't resonate.
Exactly. And it was really helpful for me to learn that, and maybe someone needs to hear it right now, is that if they're feeling, oh, I wish I could do that, like I was feeling that a lot. I kept watching a bunch of channelers. Always channelers. There's Hare Krishna, there's Buddha, there's even Jesus. There's so many paths. And yet me, it was all channelers and aliens, How did that
aliens?
happen?
You connect with aliens?
Well, yes and no. I'm not like some of those people who, for example, have a certain entity from the Pleiadians or a certain entity from this group or that group. It's more aspects of myself. It's more like I can feel and then connect with a vibration of something that's already in me, because we're weaved in so many colors, like endless probably. And so it's almost like playing an instrument for me. It's notes of a music. You can pluck a certain string and clearly that will connect you.
Oh, that speaks to me.
That, right?
Would you consider yourself to be more in a clair audience channel than instead of vision, or both?
No, I am more of a clairsentient, what they call, just knowing.
Just knowing.
Yeah.
So you don't
knowing.
It's not like my own experience of intuition is I hear thoughts that are not my thoughts.
Yeah, and I definitely have that too. I'll hear sentences, poof, I'll just get, for me it's like a radio station.
Yeah.
And there might be music sometimes, there might be
colors. I know. I heard you singing, and it's like, last time, remember?
No.
It was 2-3 weeks ago. The first time we met, actually, with the friends.
I
hear you singing. Yeah, sure.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I do the same.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we'll do a lot, actually. Like, stay tuned to the channel, because soon we're gonna do some witchy music with people.
Yeah. Sounds, so for me, as you start your journey, depending on where you are, you're gonna get activated in different aspects that are your toolbox.
Toolbox.
Your
Turbo, yeah, right.
instruments.
Yeah, sure.
Your instruments. So everybody's gonna have different instruments.
Mhm.
So for me, definitely the channel is very wide open, and I can quite easily just I if I ask something for me, I hear the answer.
Oh, nice.
And that was my grandma. That's definitely how she did it.
All right.
She was just, somebody would ask her something and she would just answer.
Perfect.
Doesn't even know what she's talking about.
Cool.
Honestly, half the time or more than half the time, she didn't even care. A lot of times, people will just walk down the street like that because it's a village type of setting. They'll just, hey, and they'll ask her something. She'll answer while she's cooking or doing something else, and I'm like, how do you? She's like, I don't know.
I don't know. Let it flow.
I know exactly. She didn't bother to be very scientific
Excellent.
about it, or to worry about how do I make it happen.
Yeah.
Like what kind of vibration do I need to be in?
Specific color candles I should use, or no,
Yeah.
just go. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Amazing. So let's, if we can, like, start. Actually, speak about the main topic.
The money.
Money.
Yeah, ask me. What do you want to
So
ask?
no, I would like to know. For example, do you have a company? Do you have a job? What is your mean of having money right now?
Having money right now is I work with people individually, and I just recently was offered actually an amazing project. So I'm more of a I do a whole bunch of stuff, which is also something that some people have to authorize themselves to do. When I was able to really authorize the flow of money in my life, I actually said, and this is me, I don't say that everybody has to do it this way, but I have been, one of the big things in my life was relationships and money. It was like the two channels that I could tell from a young age, through my 20s, through my 30s, that those two big pillars of human life are my karmic journey in this life. I can tell. So I think for a lot of people that will resonate as well. That's a very two common, big, strong pillars.
I mean, I can't see more pillars than relationship, money, safety, which is the same, money, safety, and health. It's like, what can you add? Maybe spirituality then.
Oh yeah, quite a bit. Spirituality is a big one. But see, you see, like I think a lot of the light workers were just reawakening, whereas a lot of people need to go on their spiritual journey. So no, I think there's many journeys. There's many,
but
many
those
journeys.
pillars, they are pretty common to the human experience.
Yeah, they're very big. They're very big. But everything else that I may have to work on pales in comparison to these two things. That just being said, I'm saying that just to point out that I've traveled the path of money, comprehension and connection, and trying to remove the shackles of this issue for at least 20 years actively. And I mean actively as in reading books, taking courses, progressing and then falling down, and progressing and falling down. And I think for me personally, I started very, very far away.
Yeah, that would have been my questions. Like,
I started very far away.
What was your conditioning on money when you were a child or a teenager? Like, can you share?
Yeah. I first started really understanding that I have issues with money when I was in college. Until then, I was really in my let's live and oh my god, what a beautiful butterfly. I never thought about paying bills or anything like that, even though a lot of people start earlier understanding. But I was a child for a very long time.
Yeah, your parents never had any trouble with money or
we were never rich, and of course, once I started digging backwards, I could write you 10 million books about all the different traumas around money that I had, but they were not conscious. They were very buried. As far as my conscious experience went, I was a very carefree little young thing, what's the word? Frolicking, thank you, about life, and now realizing that there was an issue yet for a while. When I started realizing there was an issue, I was probably already 25. Because I started seeing that all of a sudden all the other adults or friends of mine are having a life of some kind, and I'm still like a 15-year-old, like in terms of that, again, not fully integrated in my body.
Not being an adult, owning shit.
Oh my god, owning shit, why?
Right,
terrible.
owning your shit, I mean.
God, no. I had learned thus far only to pay my bills, to be disciplined with the little responsibilities of money in, money out.
Oh, which is already quite a big step compared to a lot of people
I
which
think so, I
don't
guess.
even do a kind of accounting or budgeting, you know.
I didn't.
All right, okay.
But I learned that if I don't pay the bill the minute that it comes in, I
Yes.
will forget about it, and then I'm going to start feeling bad about it, then I'm
Yeah.
going to stress about it. So at the very least I had, because I was OCD, also keep in mind, I'm possibly ADHD, possibly bipolar, and definitely autistic, which I got diagnosed 2 years ago.
Okay.
And OCD I was. The OCD went away after meditation and after the spirituality got kicked in, but I was very OCD before.
There is a lot of topic that we could do so many interviews on those topics.
Yeah.
To help other people as well.
Especially the autistic adult female autism is a very interesting topic, because I did not even know that exists.
Well, if you're interested about anything she said, because we're talking about money right now, but if there is anything, write it in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. Adult female autism diagnosis is a huge thing that a lot of people need to know about. Okay. A lot of females need to know about that, because you suffer a lot of social disconnect, and you don't even know why. You just think you're weird, but you're not weird. You're just statistic. Look at that.
Everybody's weird, yeah.
Of course, but there's a bit of a level in autism that's just like, why am I not grasping life? Okay, yeah. And then you're like, oh my god, I'm autistic. Oh, well, that helps. Nice. Thank you. So anyway, the different topic, but OCD is a way to compensate for a lot of that. So I had a lot of OCD when I was
so do you think there was a relationship
and that helped me with money?
Yeah, so there was a relationship with the lack of control, or I would say lack of healthy relationship with money, and your stress in terms of OCD, and where has improving a relationship with money, did that help in terms of feeling less stressed?
Oh no, it was the other way around.
No, that's very interesting.
Yeah. No. Absolutely, you cannot manifest money, if that's what we're talking about, unless you line up yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, the other way around does not work.
Amazing. So I've been interested about interviewing Eve because in the first minute we spoke. So you're writing a book. Actually.
He says I'm writing a book, but yes.
No, you say you are.
Okay, yes I am. He's helping me.
I don't know how, but
because you keep pushing, because he keeps saying you're writing a book, so that obviously that is.
I saw you were taking
so like
so many
obviously
notes
that's
last
happening.
time.
Yeah. What he's referring to is I channeled the book. Unbeknownst to me completely that actually happens. I heard about books being channeled after that, but in March of 2017 I was having having sort of legal issues, and again for the gazillionth time in my life I was having a very, very scary financial moment where by then I had already used the law of attraction to build a business that at this particular period of time I was trying to sell. But I was also, my relationship with my ex-husband was just breaking up, and so I was living at a person's house. I would call them a friend, but I had just met them. So I was living for free in a spare room of a very, very wonderful person in Montreal for free, because I couldn't afford to actually move out of my family apartment. And so financially I had $1,000 in my bank account, which was nothing in Canada. Like $1,000 here would do something in Bulgaria. But no. In Montreal, where the rents are $1,000, what are you gonna do with $1,000? So it was a moment to have to trust the universe. I was completely at the mercy of the universe and of me keeping my faith and keeping myself from falling into the ditch of fear. And terror. And instinctively, and here's where this is post my near death. This is after my near death experience. So I was already quite channeling. And so I was literally getting instructions of what to do. That did not mean that I trusted them.
No,
because you still have to.
You doubt yourself a lot. And
the mind is so active.
I'm right into it right now. I'm still.
You still doubt?
I'm getting there.
Oh, I don't. It took me about 3 years to fully stop doubting.
Nice.
Fully stop that. I don't doubt now. I would close my eyes and step forward into an abyss right now, and I know that something down there is supposed to. I do it all the time. I have friends who are not like this, and even the guy that I'm dating now, and he's watching me do these seemingly crazy things, and then amazing stuff happens, and he's like, okay.
So is that how you started?
That works.
Is that how you started to channel and write your book? Like, what was the first moment you set up in front of a laptop?
How
does that happen?
No, that's not like that. no. I was having that really scary moment, which was forcing me to talk to money.
Oh,
It was forcing me to have to deal with my fear. I had no
There you
choice.
go.
And so I was constantly pulling information out of the universe to help me, I felt very helpless at the time, very, very helpless and very scared. And I never actually in my life tend to be scared. So this was a very unfamiliar vibration for me. Actual fear.
Being human.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Talk about that. What is that?
Yeah.
So life, in a way, wanted to squeeze. That's also what the dark night of the soul is. It's like the universe is forcing you to squeeze all of your triggers.
Yeah.
It's triggering you. It's triggering you. So it's creating these situations in your life that are causing you to fluctuate in your vibration and to access all the different dirty emotions.
Yeah.
Jealousy, anger, filth, all the filth
Yeah.
that you have judgments about, and it's pulling it out and it's showing it to you like, look, you have this, you have that, and then you just. So fear was a very new experience to me, and especially it was related to money, which was a huge source of disappointment in myself by then.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, fuck, again? Again we're here? Again we're doing this? I'm an adult? I can't get my life together?
So just to be absolutely clear, you've been like bankrupt several times.
Bankrupt I think is a very good word for that.
Several
I never
times
called
in
it
your
that
cycle,
before, but cycle,
like no money in your bank account. Like, oh shit, don't know what to pay my bills.
But it's really interesting because I never really quite worried about it so much. It was like a stressful thing, and I would get my shit together and I would start taking action, and I would climb out of it. And then the disappointment would set in. Why do I keep doing that? Why can't I grow up? Why can't I save? So I tried to save, and I saved quite a bit of money, and then I would spend it all. And then it would go away again.
So something was not
Nothing was sticking.
Healed at the core, that's what I mean,
Huge, not healed.
And so instead of going to, I would say, like a class on money or whatever, you say, I'm going to ask straight away to money itself.
I ended up having to talk to money at some point. So I pulled all the $1,000 out of the bank account, which in itself was such a scary thing to go to the cashier and say, give me
have it in
all
hand.
my money.
I got this experience.
Have you?
Yeah, to pay your car, for example.
Never did that.
Just imagine someone's going at me and I lose it.
I didn't so much worry about losing it, but I understood how uncomfortable I am. I was uncomfortable holding this thing. Why?
What is it?
Why? Why would I be uncomfortable? I could hold a dog, I could hold a baby, I could hold whatever, I could hold flowers, but all of a sudden I'm holding this thing, and my whole body is going into panic mode. Come on,
super interesting.
Crazy.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people relate to that, especially
I think so.
Spiritual people once again, because there's such a. Like money is evil, money is dirty, money make you selfish and narcissistic. You can't be spiritual and be rich. It's like part of our DNA.
It is.
And that's the reason maybe, there is this idea that when you go through those intense healing at once, you're actually not clearing yourself, you're clearing your lineage.
Once I
and the collective consciousness.
That later.
That's why I like to nickname you our money priestess.
I know, it's so funny. I love all the names he gives me. It's fine. Because I can genuinely say right now something I never thought would happen. Honestly, I never thought, but I can genuinely say right now, I love money.
Perfect. Yeah. Great.
I do,
but
here.
Oh man,
I'm sorry. I never thought that would be possible.
Okay.
I heard people say that, and I was just like,
I have so many questions. I have so many questions.
How do I get there?
I have so many questions because I do love money, but money isn't flowing as much as I would like to.
Interesting.
But let's go back first. So you ask for money and money replies. So you explained that as a medium you receive intuitive knowledge. So you
they told me go get the money out, lay it, touch it, feel it, like literally, like rub in it, like you have to become comfortable. This is crazy.
Oh, nice.
You are so far removed from money. How do you expect it to be your friend?
So you took money as a symbol. Materialized in terms of notes,
I took the cash. That's right. I took the cash out, and every single day I kept the stack. Every single day I would lay it out on my bed. After the morning, I would wake up and do whatever my meditation, everything. I'll make my bed, and I would lay it all out, every single note.
Listen to that.
And I would lay it out, and it was just channeled to me, like, just do that. And I didn't read it anywhere, and I would literally look at it.
Amazing.
And I was terrified. It was horrible at first. It was so uncomfortable. I was like, this is so... I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to look at it. And then I forced myself. I was like, I'm going to touch it. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to treat it like an animal or something. Because the business that I was having was for dogs and cats. So, like, I love animals. And obviously, I was taking so much care of all these animals. And it was really difficult for me to take money for it. So I would pour out all this love, all my energy and time, but have a very hard time taking money for it in the business. And so I said, pretend that these are kitty cats, kittens or puppies.
Good idea.
Right? What are you going to do? You got to take care of them. They're, you can't be disgusted by the puppies or whatever it is. Oh, so that actually really, really helped to get me comfortable enough to go through the scary period and relax.
Oh, yeah.
Because I knew at that point, I had started listening to Abraham Hicks by that point. And so I really, really, really knew that if I was holding an energy of fear and frustration, I'm screwing up all of my potential possibilities for anything that I wish in my life. Anything.
Yeah, I mean, you can't enter a relationship whether that would be with a person or money if you come with a sense of stress and fear and that's
fear
the idea.
And rejection
so you get used to
and
it.
judgment.
Yeah, it's nice. Would that be a practice you would recommend anyone to experiment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have to get...
You inspire me to try now.
Yeah, we have to get comfortable with the cash and just hearing about it, it's not enough.
Oh yeah,
it's like
it has to be a physical, tactile
physical
sensation.
It's the same as fitness. It's the same as going to the gym.
That's good. That's amazing. Yeah, because you can watch videos of people doing sports.
Yeah, you can read all about fitness and everything, but if you don't get your butt to the gym or outside every day,
like conditioning.
Yeah, you can't. There's nothing gonna happen in your health.
Do you still do it every day?
No, with the money I don't do it every day, but what I do.
Yeah.
Well, that was still kind of the beginning of the latest phase. And that was, keep in mind, again, 2017. This was the period when I channeled the book. That's why I was telling you the story of it. Because one day, and I was channeling a lot at that point. Every single day in the morning, I would just have these downloads. There was a very big period between the near-death experience. So winter of 2016, all the way to maybe last fall. What is 2020? Yeah. Spring of 2020, heavy downloads. I'm talking every day, massive downloads. Some of them for me, most of them very general as well, that they would apply to me always, but there were things that you would spread, like you said, you're healing lineages, you're healing the human consciousness, you're downloading all of these new frequencies and vibrations, and by accepting to live by these new principles, you're raising the tide. And then I understood that only later. By connecting to other light workers, by connecting to a lot of other groups, watching a lot of videos, and recognizing, yes, that is what I'm doing as well. That's what's going on. So at that time, though, this heavy download came down, and I did not have this. This was my first time experiencing a pure channel. And it came through writing. And a lot of people will testify, even Abraham Hicks, that the first it was writing for her as well. She would type. And then they came through the mouth.
All right.
But
that was not automatic writing. That was
automatic writing for me.
Oh, that was automatic.
Well,
so you could have done it like eyes closed, kind of.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
Oh, for
Interesting.
Sure. For sure. But I still kind of, my mind was very active because it was reading. It was the first time I had that experience. I've had it many times after that, but it was the first time where something was happening. And I was reading it.
Oh, nice. It's the same when we channel with the voice.
Yes, I know you're listening to it like, what a good point. That's really good.
Like the transmission is the same.
Exactly.
I'm like, that was very smart.
That was very good.
I'm not that smart.
I didn't say that. Exactly. That was not me.
It's so cool, yeah.
So but it was in the writing form, and it came out fully formatted, this book, If Money Was My Best Friend. And the title, the chapters, the structure.
Where is it? I'm ready to buy.
Exactly. So this is the problem with the human.
What happens?
I wrote for 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
I wrote and I learned so much from this book. And what they were saying to me, and it was a very personal channel as well, because they were showing me Eve, this human, because of Morocco, I think, was very, very comfortable with love. What does that mean, what I'm trying to say? There are a lot of humans, at that time, I was in a group of friends, kind of like the group we have here, but it was my first spiritual group in Montreal. And a lot of them were having intimacy problems in terms of them. They were wanting to open their heart chakra, and they were wanting to love people, and they were wanting to be able to be close to people. And it just so happened that I was an expert at that.
Yeah, sure.
I was just like, what are you guys talking about? I don't understand. Where's the problem? I love everybody. Like, come, come into my life. I come into your life. I couldn't feel a difference between me and you and the next person, and that I think had a lot to do with Morocco, like I said before. So what they did with this book is they said if money was your best friend, and they started comparing, think about your best friend from childhood. When your best friend is, when you're sitting around without your best friend, you miss them, right? You miss them. How do you feel? When you see your best friend on the playground, or you're calling them like, listen,
you're excited.
You want to say, do you feel that way about money?
Yeah, I do.
Well, that's interesting because I did not.
All right.
So it depends on what level you are. Then when something really, really good happens to you, you want to share it right away with your best friend.
Yeah.
You want to have these experiences together. Or for me, when they compared money to my best friend, to how I would kiss and hold and hug and want
and have fun
and keep together and have fun with and run down the street
and share with other friends, introduce to other friends.
That's right. Let's go do
and
this
build
together.
stuff together.
Build,
and of course,
exactly.
help the planet and
But
your life.
But none of that applied to money for me.
Yeah.
None of
until
it.
Then, until now.
Well, until much later, yeah. My skin would just and I felt sadness. And that is when the next chapter of the book started channeling, and that was the emotions of money as a thought form, which at the time I didn't even know the concept of thought form. I was reading it when they were saying this to me, and so this is the story that they told me. It was very, very nice and made me very sad, actually. And they said at some point money as a entity didn't even exist. No one had thought of money yet. I'm not even talking about the planet Earth. At some point in existence and the creation on any planet, that concept of exchanging
currency,
an object of currency just didn't exist. Someone had to think of it.
Well, there was barter. Would you consider?
No, I don't think so.
You don't consider barter to be money?
No, I don't.
So, okay.
No, I don't. I'm specifically talking about
currency.
Money. Yeah, currency, yeah. And so at some point, and in the vision that they showed me, it was a human. So let's say this was on Earth, and let's say it was whatever, Mesopotamia, or I don't know when they invented money, But some human had to think of it and say, oh my God, just like airplanes, I believe we can fly in the air like birds in this metal machine. And what do the rest of humans go, what a psycho! You are completely crazy, my friend. Why don't you please take your lazy ass and go work in the field, because that's where the real stuff is happening, and you're just la la land. So some person was in that position, right? Some person thought of money.
Was the channel of the dream of God to bring birth of money in the material plane.
That's exactly it. Like creation just birthed itself into a new concept. And so let's say this was one person and maybe 2, 5, 10 different people who attempted, maybe they made coins themselves, or who knows what they did, right? But there was an attempt, and there was huge mistrust of that concept, and it was just a laughing matter, and no one wanted to use it.
Like new technology is always the
Yeah,
same.
but imagine at that point money, as a thought form, as an entity, was a baby.
Yeah, an embryo, kind of, just like being born. Like,
gentle little thing, clueless little baby. And it did not believe in itself. That's the most important thing.
That's a nice concept.
It
didn't believe in itself. I like it. Yeah, it was a
know.
baby angel that doesn't even believe in itself.
Yes, because no one believed in it.
True.
No one knew what to use it for, or that it would take root. So it's like a lot of times I think we have a lot of ideas that we don't believe in. We do.
Because those ideas don't believe
They're
in
brand
themselves.
Well, I think the ideas cannot believe in themselves without us. I think
Without
we're the
us,
creators.
we're the angels giving trust to those new ideas that
Exactly.
we're being birthed through us.
Yeah.
So money has been birthed and actually has grown up since then.
A lot.
It's a fucking big deal.
A lot. So it's become, so at some point people started using it, and it started feeling useful, and started feeling hopeful. Money itself as a concept, and it started feeling like, oh, I'm helping. Because it was helping. You know, people were exchanging things, it was making things easier, and then industry was booming, civilization. So it could observe that it was participating as a fertilizer to humanity.
But at the same time, people were in conflicts in order to
Not really in the beginning. The way the story was told.
Oh, you're very much back in
yeah,
ancient
like
times
really
still.
teenager.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking ancient times when really money was just completely discovering what could it do, what could I do, what could we do, and it was being led by human hearts.
Okay, cool.
And this is what's really interesting. It was because human hearts and minds were the ones that were either loving it or misusing it. Not money.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But I don't know, until I read that in the book, I didn't think about that ever.
Nice.
That money actually had no power back then. It even now. It doesn't have power.
Okay.
It's the human minds and human hearts. The way they're using it.
So how did money evolve after that?
It was really just humans figuring out the human shadow of greed and jealousy and all that started using money for a very, very long time to do quite evil things. And money did not like that. Actually, money was like a prisoner. It was like a tool that was being used in very evil ways, and it was very sad about that.
I loved it.
It was very. I cried at that point of the story because money didn't ask to be born. Really,
sure, and has been abused all his existence.
It did not ask to be abused. And how do we feel? Most of us, and me certainly, at the moment of writing this book, I felt angry at money. I cursed money in my head. I wished it away. I wished I didn't have to deal with it. Why do we have to deal with it? I wish that we didn't have to pay bills. I wish that we didn't have to go to work. Why am I forced to go to work to earn this freaking money, to just spend it? I am a slave.
I can relate a bit.
Okay, see, I don't feel that way at all anymore, so it's hard for me to retell, but I remember really feeling like a slave, feeling forced to waste my happiness and my time
in order to have money to
was this such a bullshit? And I felt that way about food too. Why should I eat just to poop?
Sure.
And I just wasted a bunch of money, wasted a bunch of time. This is so pointless. And so money was like feeling really trapped. Really, really trapped in the human hands and human hearts. And it was really it gave up, by the way, long time
money
ago.
gave up.
Money gave up a long time ago, trying to hope for love.
Oh, that's kind of sad, and I feel it in my heart.
I felt it. I felt it.
Maybe people feel it in watching the video as well. I guess the reason why I can feel it intuitively here means that I'm healing my relationship as well. You're helping me as a priestess to do so. I feel it, right.
I know.
It's great.
So yeah, money did actually quite give up on us, honestly, as a mass population, and is waiting at that time for that first download. They didn't show me that, but there were many downloads after that did show me that, of course, it's not like money is disappointed in us or whatever, but it was just waiting for humanity to reawaken, and it will instinctively go to those people who really welcome it and feel joy.
Amazing.
Which is such a natural thing to do. Why would, if a girlfriend of yours is constantly telling you, go away, I hate you, will you keep going back to her? No. Like, you'll be like, okay, I mean, I want to be with you, but if you keep chasing me away, what can I do? I will, I will go away. And of course, it will go to where it's being absolutely appreciated and cherished.
Amazing.
That was feel that word, cherished.
Cherished. Nice.
For
Cherish
money.
money. Yeah.
At the time, it was my goosebumps. And
Like a little baby, as you said. I understand. I think we're gonna have to do a second interview.
But yeah,
because it's already 1 hour.
Oh wow!
Yes,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Wow.
cut it soon.
Well, there was
And that's fascinating, and I have so much question actually I didn't even ask, and I'm probably sure that a lot of people. So I think it's perfect because it's your opportunity right now to ask whatever questions you want to ask Moni or Eve about, and that will be an opportunity for us to do a second interview.
And I do wanna point out that there's a lot more to the story in terms of how I personally started collecting data from other people who had found love with money, and I'll be honest, I was very jealous of them because I was like, I want to be there already, and I think in our spiritual journey we have a lot of times like, I want to channel already, man. I want to download already. Why can't I meditate already?
I'd love to be in your position where you are in money as well.
Yeah.
But I know I have some people, and that's the beauty of it. It's like you meet the people where it's a little bit ahead.
Yes,
in terms of vibration, so you can
just a little bit.
Just plug in.
Right.
And that's nice, that's beautiful. So I'm so...
It's the pulling up of all of humanity.
Of course, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful to you. Thank you so much for this first interview of Soulpunk TV.
Thank
and
you.
We're gonna do a second one soon. Where can people follow you on social media?
We'll have to put it underneath because I do have on Facebook is easier. I'm mostly active on Facebook.
Do you have a group or a page or?
I do have a page, and we'll just.
I'm gonna put in the description.
Yeah,
in the comments.
we'll post them underneath. Sure. Yeah.
And anyway, we'll introduce you again in the second interview. We're gonna do next week or when we have the time. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope it was interesting and insightful. I think it was. At least for me, it was.
Yeah, and money wants us to help it by helping ourselves. It really, really does. It's a energy that's still very active. Obviously, we all know on the planet, and it's not going away. By the way, that's I think a big deal to say in the spiritual community. There was even me. I subscribed to that concept for a while that let's just do away with money. We're not doing away with money.
Okay, let's keep some for the next interview. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Okay. No, I think it's important to close with that. To say that we're not doing away with money, we are learning to love.
We need to establish a healthy relationship.
We're learning to
based
love.
on love,
yes.
for sure, and heart center.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's not scary.
No, it's not. I think it's a beautiful final takeaway. And thank you so much. Thank you guys. Love you so much. Mwah.